Hey everybody, got Chris Barron and Shay Foulk here today, and we are going to talk about the AgView Executive Business Conference and get people fired up and signed up. Shay, what do you got cooking?
Oh man, I'm super excited for this year's lineup. We're going to go through each of the speakers here, but Chris, I don't know. We've been doing this 5 years now. I don't know if I've ever been this excited for the lineup of speakers that we have. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, 5 years. Alyssa's done a great job of bringing together 14 keynote speakers to 15 keynote speakers that we don't have breakouts. We're not sitting there advertising anything. We're there purely for education. And I think that's a notable and something that we really got to make sure people understand is you're going to get an opportunity to come and learn and take things home to the business. They're going to really impact your bottom line. I think that's really cool
It,
the
yeah,
opportunity.
it's a full 2 days of heavy hitters of back to back to back to back, like you said, keynote speaking sessions. And I think what the coolest part about that is this isn't just a keynote that you hear and then they leave and go get on a plane. A couple of them might need to leave later on in the day, but most of them are sticking around to have supper, to engage, to interact, to give you an opportunity. We only have 150 people come to this conference by design so that you can get that engagement, you can get that one-on-one interaction, and you can take stuff back to your farm or your ag business and really elevate what you're doing in your operation. I think that's one of the key things that sets this conference apart from others.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think the other thing too, Shay, that I always tell people, you're going to come here and you're going to say, this is the best ag business conference I've ever been to. And I mean, I literally mean that. I mean, and I don't know how many people have come up to us during the meeting. We're at the end of day one and like, this is amazing. This has been just unbelievable. But the one thing that I think is really cool on day one that we do is a networking session where we get everybody around the table and you sit with people that you don't know and you work through some issues that you have in your own farm operation. You share those with each other, and you get to know some people. And throughout that 2.5 day window, from the welcome reception on Wednesday night all the way through to the end of the day on at the end of the day on Friday, it's just amazing how many people have told me over the years, oh yeah, I still keep in contact with this operation. They're 5 states away, but we've developed this relationship, this friendship, and and just have gotten so much out of it. And so that's really the cool thing. And it's always
Mhm.
amazing how impactful the networking really is with each other. Because you're sitting there with all love and respect to local meetings. You're sitting there with people from other states with different dynamics, but with a lot of the same problems. And how did they work through them and stuff? And it's really cool to see.
And Chris, I got a new watch here, and I'm MC. I'm kicking Ryan Moe out. I was gone last year. I'm MC, and I intentionally keep every minute on time and on track. And people have made many comments over the years of they appreciate that because we're not delaying. You are there for a specific purpose. We are going to be timely. We're going to be on time and keep things moving out of respect for your time and commitment. And what I would, one thing that we didn't have in our notes here that I think we should add, Chris, is we do these in really awesome locations. We're going to be back out in Phoenix here this year so that you can bring your family and make this a business trip and a social trip or a family trip as well if you want to. There's tons to do in the area. So I think people have really appreciated the fact that they can bring their family out, enjoy maybe some nicer weather, but really other things to do. And then when they're done with the conference, they can go and spend that family time as well. It's a good getaway.
Yeah, that the Hilton Tapatio Resort in Phoenix, Arizona is a beautiful place too. I mean, we've been there. This will be the third time we've been there.
Mhm.
They do such a great job. The food's amazing. The dinner we do on Thursday night is on top of the mountain, overlooks the entire city. Great place to network. It's really cool deal for sure.
And what I would say too, the reason that we started this conference is to bring value and perspective to your operation, but more importantly, we want you to take actionables. So we ask the speakers, we ask these 14 keynote speakers, deliver actionables that the attendees can take back to their business, that they can put into action tomorrow, to really help elevate your business to be the best that it can be. And with that, I guess we got the lineup of speakers here, Chris, if we want to run through kind of what that
Sure.
looks like.
Yeah, I'll hit a couple first here. Um, Dick Wittman is well-known economist from back in the 80s. I mean, you talk about somebody with some amazing experience that's going to be talking on the importance of just getting your details together and rounded up on financials. He's got some phenomenal things that I think people will be able to take away and really improve their financial analysis and that type of thing. And then obviously Paul Neiffer is a pretty big fan favorite with all the things going on with policy, within the government, within tax planning, that type of stuff. And then a new farm bill. I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff that, Paul's going to be able to give you some practical information and how to practically manage some of that stuff. Do you want to hit Vance Crowe?
Yeah, so I'll hit Vance, Scott, and Jason here. So Vance Crowe, he's an expert in communications, and I would call him a thought leader in the industry. He thinks very differently. Him and I just did a podcast around interest-based negotiation that I think he's going to hit on as part of a little bit more in depth as part of his presentation. Phenomenal stuff there. Scott Klososky, he is what I would consider the leading expert in artificial intelligence. And so him and I were talking the other day about how can we do an interactive presentation to where maybe I'm operating the screen and him and I are, co-presenting together to work through how can farms actively and immediately integrate artificial intelligence tools and processes and procedures into their farm and egg business today. And I think that's going to be highly impactful as well. And then the last on that list here that I mentioned, Jason Mauck, he's out of Indiana, and we're really going to focus on the businesses that he's built over the last decade and cultivating those connections and how he has used kind of these ideas and these proven processes and procedures to figure out what is it that people want and need? How do you develop the market for it? And I would consider what he's done in so many different industries. He's very outside the box with his thinking, and I know a ton of people are going to get a ton of value with Jason there.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, a couple of others. David Okerlund, he's a amazing presenter on just leadership and how to manage people, but also how to function with your suppliers and those types of things, and just to have that relationship. It's going to be pretty awesome having him. And then obviously we have the list of professionals that many of you know and listen to a lot, whether it's on our podcast or with Joe Vaklovic. But Joe Vaklovic is kind of a mainstay. He's been at all of our conferences. He's there the whole time. You get opportunity to sit down and visit with him. He's sharp dude. But we're going to throw a bunch of other people at him with him. We've got Matt Bennett that's going to be there, Brian Splitt, both from agmarket.net. And then we've got obviously Ryan Moe back again by popular demand. You kicked him off of the
Yep.
leadership role, but he's gonna be there with the market analyst. He works a ton. Ryan works a lot with the end users and stuff, and has some insight that I think is going to be really interesting. And then Pete Meyer will be there, and he talks a lot about what's going on with the demand picture. Obviously we've got some pretty critical things going on the commodity side of the equation right now. So I think between Pete Meyer, Ryan Moe, Brian Splitt, Matt Bennett, and Joe Vaklovic, wrapping the program up, we're going to have some pretty interesting discussions on how we kind of manage into the next couple of years here. But I'm super excited, Shay. I think and also you and I are going to do a talk too. We're going to be able to bring where people are at on cost of production and some things that guys need to be thinking about, and actionables that they can take home again to improve the bottom line. And just again, for the 5th annual, January 21st through the 24th, great location, like you said, amazing attendees and networking opportunities. That's
Yeah.
my thought.
And your actionable today, for those of you listening, is get registered for the conference. We want to make sure that you have your spot reserved. There's some stuff that goes into making sure that we have everything lined up to give you the best possible experience. So the sooner you get signed up, the better we can help make this the conference that you have expected it to be and that we can deliver for you. So go to eggviewsolutions.com. You can click on the EggView Solutions Executive Business Conference tab. It'll take you to the registration page. You can go through all the registration information. It'll give you all the details. You can do your hotel booking there. They've really set up a phenomenal website. So that's your action item. Get signed up for the conference. And if you got any questions, go to the website first. We've really been very diligent about making sure that we're answering as many questions as possible on the website for hotel registration, for getting registered for the conference. If your spouse is going to be attending the dinners, all of that stuff is online. And then if you have additional questions, you can reach out to us from there.
Sounds good. Well, I'm, like I said, super excited. Can't wait to see everybody there. It's a phenomenal group of people, and make sure you're there. It will change your business for the better.
Absolutely. Hope to see you all there.
All right. Thanks, everybody.